I've been thinking how our tastes in music reflect our everyday lives. Around 10 or 12 years ago, the trend was all for new music.
Day number 3 of working on the fence. So it's going to be a lot of the same that we've already been doing.
Exciting! Freezing today!
It'll warm up, the sun's out, so.
What was I calling you last night? Grizzly man?
The grizzly man.
You are, you're like a big grizzly bear.
Try to get some on this side here.
Hi, bud. Where'd Dewey go? Dewey! Say hi to YouTube. Wanna say hi? Dewey! Dewey! Where are you going? Okay.
Alright, so Hannah and I, we set 13 posts this morning, so we're up to 22 total, and had a little bit of a lunch break. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the H-brace started here, and I want to get the gate actually hung today. So essentially what's going on with the H-brace here is you have to imagine on this side of this post here, there's going to be a gate that's going to be hanging off of it. So there's going to be a lot of force that is wanting to push this post that way. So in order to counteract that, what we're going to do is between these two posts here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to notch out maybe about an inch or so into the post, and we're going to set another piece of 6x6 between these. Now the 6x6 set is going to be sitting between these two posts, like it's going to be floating. So it's not going to really be offering any strength to hold this post back this way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some high tension wire, and we're basically going to strap this end here to the bottom of this post here. So how this is going to work is that high tension wire is going to be pulling on this post right here, and it's going to be connected basically to the bottom of this one. So that's really going to strengthen this up, and then this post is not going to be, eventually over time what would happen is that this post would start to lean over towards the driveway. So that's why we're going to put in what is called an H-brace at this end of the fence, and we're going to do it on the other end of the gate as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece of 2x2 and just figure out exactly where level is, and then I'm just going to make a mark basically where the start of my cuts are going to go for the 6x6 that's going to go between these. So I'm going to place the brace that goes between these is I'm just going to put the bottom at about right about 30 inches or so. That should be fine. So then I can make my mark on the other side here just using this makeshift 4-foot level. And now I know exactly where I'm gonna start my cuts for this. Some people that I've seen online, they actually use an equation to figure out basically the distance between the H posts and how high this should go up off the ground. So we're just gonna put this a little bit above half, and I think it should be good enough. So how I'm gonna notch this out is I'm gonna set the depth of the skill saw here to just about an inch, and I'm just going to basically make a number of cuts all the way up and down, and then so I don't have an actual wood chisel in order to clean out this cut. So I'm just going to make do with maybe some of my bigger slotted screwdrivers. I also have a Sawzall, so I can also kind of clean off some of those cuts as well with that. 2 first cuts are done, bottom, top. Everything else in between, gotta go. That looks good to me. Let's do the other side here. Now with these both notched out, I can take a measurement between the two, and we're right at exactly 42 inches. So I'm gonna go cut a piece, 42 inches. 42. Looks good. So I don't know exactly what I'm doing here, but let's figure this out together. So I got this wire. We want it to loop on that end of this, it's called like a wire strainer or something, wire tightener. You're probably not gonna find these at Lowe's or Home Depot. I had to go to TSC to get these. So we're gonna loop on two of these, what are these technically called? Crimping sleeves. So we're gonna slip on two through the wire. Then we're gonna feed this end. Or wait, what am I doing here? So we're gonna feed the wire through the end of our wire strainer, high tension wire. And I'll make a bend on it. Maybe get this right kind of in the center of this bracket here. So then we've got these crimp sleeves right here that we're gonna feed on the end of this. We're gonna put two on. So whenever you're using these crimp sleeves, I think it's always recommended that you use at least two when you're doing certain wire connections like this. All right. So what we can do is we can figure out where we need to cut this, right like here. Cut that, no problem. Get this crimp sleeve bait. Get these wires in here. There we go. We've got our little loop here. Now I'm just gonna crimp these down. It is a crimp tool, but it's not exactly made for these crimp sleeves. It's just got like a single blunt edge on it, but I think it's gonna work. Just crimp those. All right, so we got this half here, so that's good. So now we just need to loop up on the other side here, bring it down, stick it through the middle of the sprocket here, and then we're just gonna start tightening her up and should be good to go. So I think for this side here, we wanna come obviously above the H brace. So we're just gonna come up, I think right to about there might be all right. Same on the other side. These fence stables here will hold the wire from trying to slip down. Okay, here we go. Beautiful. Okay, I think this is designed to only have one wire in. So what we're gonna do is we'll bring this, make this longer, and then we're gonna take this end here, and we're gonna basically crimp this right here as well. Put these two crimp sleeves on this end. There we go. And if I'm doing this totally wrong, then just leave a comment. Let me know what I did wrong, because I'm just kind of winging this one here. Okay. All right. So we're gonna loop this single end here. We're gonna loop this. There's like a little hole in the middle of the sprocket, so we're gonna loop that in here. Now, which way should we? So it wants to go that way. Now what I'm gonna do is, this is like a little tool here that you get for tightening this up. So I'm gonna trim this end off. since I'm already wrapped around once, I'm sure people who have done this before are probably just screaming at the computer screen right now. They're like, man, you're doing this really the most difficult way. And I'm like, probably I am. But I think this is what we want to do here. So now I can really hear the wire is actually, it's really starting to tighten down, which is what we want. This tool is really handy here. Oh, fuck. All right, that was too much. Got a little greedy with that there. Okay, all right, we're not gonna go too hard this time. Okay, we'll go one more click. If it snaps, then okay. That's really tight there. So I don't wanna try this anymore. So I could actually hear the post slightly moving a bit. So I think that means that we have a good amount of tension on here. The crimps seem to be doing fine. So now we can mount the gate. So this is the gate that we bought here. This is just a standard 10-foot fence. What I'm gonna do is put some blocks under this end here. Let's bring it up off the ground. I think I'm gonna mount it right like this. So the fence comes with these big, this is almost like a lag bolt here, except it comes out, it 90s up, and this is what the gate actually sits on. So what I have to do is pre-drill a hole into the post, basically just turn this in, and then we can just set the fence right on it, and then the same thing for the top here. 9/16. Ooh, first shot, first one. That's always like the best feeling, is when you pick the right socket on your first try. So this bottom one is the most important one to get in place exactly where you want it. This one, not so much, because this top bracket is adjustable. This one's welded into place. So we just want to make a mark where we're gonna put it. I think that's good there. We'll do the same on the top. So it's always a good idea when you're using lag style bolts like this, is to find a bit that's just maybe just a touch smaller than the, I guess, the inside part of the lag bolt. Not like the threaded part, but the inside. One that's just a little bit smaller, so that when you crank it in there, it's gonna be nice and tight. So what I'm gonna do to make this a little bit easier, just to get the lag bolt started, is just to clear out just the end with the next size up. Just a little bit. So when I was working as an electrician, we always referred to channel locks as dogs. So it's like, hey, do you got your dogs with you? But I'm talking about channel locks. There's always just like some of the weirdest names for stuff in construction. Like, why would you call these dogs? I don't know, but that's what we called them. All right, so the gate works. Seems to be sturdy. It's actually pretty level, and you can see I had to dig out a little bit down here. We didn't set this fence post here because I didn't know the exact distance that the fence was going to take up with the hardware, and then Also, I just wanted to take this into account because this has some thickness as well. So we'll basically mount this right to this fence post here, get it in place, and then we know for sure that we're gonna have the right distance. It's not gonna be too much of a distance or too little. And then we're gonna have a nice little gate going on here. So, how's that? How's that, Dewey? Do you like your new gate? He loves it. He loves it.
Quite a bit, huh? I told him my genius idea for getting dogs to dig holes.
What's your genius idea for getting dogs to dig holes?
Remember that one time?
Oh, don't lean on this. Well, you can, but I wouldn't lean on it.
That we were talking about if we just had like a really long stick and you could like attach like something to it that they really wanted, like a piece of meat or something. Okay, maybe not meat, but like what's something like some peanut butter or something.
Yeah, or a
and you just like shove it all the way down and then they like dig all the way till they get to it. You'd have like so many holes. I thought it was $1 million idea.
Hey, you know. Whoa, we could try it with a little deucer right here. How do you like your new gate there, buddy?
They'd like smell the peanut butter and then
you like your gate? You want to push it? Look, you're pushing it.
Don't teach them how to open it. Oh my god!
All right, so we will be back another day with probably tomorrow with another video, finishing off these fence posts. Then we can actually get the actual fence up. And we still have to do some corner bracing, so I'll show you that in one of the next videos as well. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Talk to you soon. Peace.